So no, this is on Bella. And some of you, I know you've all seen her here. She's the one with the cropped ear. See how it's flat? And this is a kitty that has belonged to my neighbor, but we have had her here, well, off and on since in August. So Bella had originally come here. The family that owns them is wonderful, and they have 4 children, and they're just really nice people. They had always, in their younger days, when they lived at home, had outdoor cats. And so they were going to make Bella an outside kitty. And something happened to her. Well, in the meantime here, before that, she had come here. I mean, it's only just a spit's worth of, well, that's what my mom always said, stone's throw, we'll say, to their backyard. Their backyard actually butts up against our backyard in the woods, and Bella kept coming over. So I had taken her back home, and then it said that she was big enough to be getting spayed. So they said, well, let's make an appointment. So we made an appointment for her, and she was spayed. Beans, that was their cat, and they were going to keep her outdoors. They did want the left ear tipped. And then Bella had an accident outside. We kept her at the time, though, of her spay for a few nights for recovery, since she was going back outside. They had asked me if we could keep her. So we got to know her over time, because we had also then was able to do her vaccines and things. And then she, in September, had an accident, and it's on her right side. You guys probably remember some of this. She had a big gap here, a long scratch here that wasn't as bad, but it was very long. And she had a long scratch over her eye. And those 2 scratch type things healed pretty quickly. And because she was outside, and this was such a gaping wound, that they asked if we could keep her. So you guys have all seen her here and there and everywhere here. And while we're doing all this, because we kept her a couple weeks, of course we fell in love with her. So then came the day before my vacation. I let them know that she was quite ready to go, because it was plenty healed. And gosh, then, so that means that was like 3 weeks we had her. So we did what we did before, is they went back home, went down our fence row. We have a gate there, and cat entry doors cut into our gate so the cats can go back and forth. And I carried Bella out and pushed her through the little cat fence gate, and the kids were over there and called her. So they took her up to the house. Well, guess who was here almost the whole time while I was gone on my vacation? She was here in our A-frame, you know, the A-frame where some of the outside cats are. So when I got home, and I saw her, I happened to be coming in, and she squirted in the door in here again. So we had to, you know, make sure she still had her flea prevention and her wormings and all that kind of stuff done. And that week that she was here, then I called them and asked if we could talk about her, because I said she's actually been here during the time I was gone, which was only a matter of a day or 2 missing. And so they agreed to let her here, but they wanted to keep her here so that when the kids wanted to see her, that they could. So they came down yesterday. I know this is a long story. So they came down yesterday, and it was the sweetest thing. The kids are little, and the second that Bella saw them, she was happy and she was purring like she always does. But what really struck me, as before, when the kids held her, she just goes limp in their arms. And I mean, you could tell she was so happy to be with kids, right? And so what we've decided to do is that she is going to go with their sister or the kid's auntie. And they have children, and this is where this cat originally came from. And they have children, and they're going to keep her as an inside kitty. So they're going to come somewhere around 1 o'clock-ish and pick her up, and they're going to go straight there. And the condition on all this is if it doesn't work out there and they decide it just doesn't work for them, she comes back here, as always is the case with all of our adoptions. But you can see how she just loves to be helped. She just is a real sweetheart. Her boo-boos, even the big bad one, has healed beautifully, and she's been playing. She's just really at home here. But, you know, if she can get a home and be happy there because of all the kids there, and they're good with kids, it sounds like, we need to do that. So she's going to go on that next part of the journey today, and knowing that if it doesn't work out, she'll be back here. She arrived here, or she was little. She was just a little over, I believe, 2 pounds at that time. So we weighed her last night, and she's a whopping 6'14" now. Oh, thank you, Goosty. I will do that. I will do that. The Biggie Doo, I will do that, Goosty. I've got a crate. They didn't have a crate, so I've got just a nice size traveling one for them to take her. They're about an hour and 15-minute drive, I guess. Thank you, Goosty. You get a banky. Gosh, you're such a babe. So it's kind of hard to let her go. I thought maybe she would be here. I know, you're Frankie. Yep. Thanks, Goosty. We'll do that. All right, you ready? You want to get down and play? You got a few hours left is all. You can play. But at least, well, and part of this story was, too, you know, I knew she was their kitty, of course, because I knew them and I know her. And so when she would come over and she learned how to quickly buzz into the door when the volunteers or I would go through, or with Connie's help. Thank you, MK. She was so at home. And so what she and I compromised, if you're out there in the evening, you have to come in during the night, because at nighttime is scary times when things happen. And so then it got to be where she didn't go the door. She didn't go the door. And then every once in a while I would put her out, because it's like, maybe you really need to go back over there. It's just right next door. And she would maybe stay out an hour. And then the last time I did that, she was out 15 minutes and she never left the sun porch. So that's when it was like, we gotta talk and figure this out. So I just didn't want anything to happen to her. Zasha is doing great. She's doing good. She's still on her meds, of course, all of her soreness meds. And I just put the orthopedic beds that we have for her. They're nice and thick and squishy on the floor with a big, thick blankie. And I opened up her lower condo pin, so with a little step down, so she doesn't have to jump. And she'll be down on the floor then. She'll like that. She is purring this whole time. Thank you, Jabber. I will do that. All right, you little youngin'. You little youngin'. You will be missed, because I just love you. Yes, you are just a super duper fave, aren't ya? All right, we'll leave her play a little while. There you go. Shall I turn